Hello everyone! Welcome to another Level Up tutorial brought to you by the Nashville Public Library. This episode is part 1 in a series about Google Drive. Over the course of this series, I'll be showing you how to use and get the most out of this service. In this episode, we'll be talking about what Google Drive is, and I'll show you how to navigate the user interface. So what is Google Drive? Google Drive is actually two products in one. The Drive part of Google Drive is a cloud-based storage platform that you can access wherever you have an internet connection. You can use it on a PC, Mac, or any Android or Apple device. And all changes made to your Google Drive automatically sync on all your devices. Meaning, if I create a new file in Google Drive using my iPad, when I open up Google Drive on my PC, the file that I created will be there waiting for me. In Google Drive, you can store any type of file, and Google Drive can show a preview of almost any file, including Photoshop files. With your free Google account, you get 15 gigabytes of storage space with the option to purchase more. One important thing to remember is that your 15 gigabytes of storage covers your entire Google account. Your emails and attachments in Gmail and your photos in Google Photos all count against your 15 gigabyte limit. The other part of Google Drive are the productivity apps, which are a suite of programs comparable to Microsoft Office. Google Docs is a word processing application similar to Microsoft Word. Google Sheets is a spreadsheet application like Excel, and Google Slides is a presentation software program comparable to PowerPoint. Google Drive and these apps are designed to work together. Files created with Docs, Sheets, or Slides don't count against your 15 gigabyte limit. You can also convert Microsoft Office files into the Google Docs format. One of the most powerful features of Google Drive is the ability to work collaboratively. You can share Google Drive files with anyone with a Google account and work together on a document at the same time. Now that we know what Google Drive is, let's move into the next part of this episode where we will explore the interface. Okay, welcome to the second part of this tutorial where I'll be showing you around the interface for Google Drive. So let's fire up the old Chrome machine. And we're going to want to navigate to drive.google.com. Okay, if you have a Gmail account or a Google account, you can access Drive from any Google product, Gmail, Calendar, anything like that. If you don't have a Gmail account, you will need to click on Go to Drive. And you can sign into your Google account here under email or phone. If you don't have an account, you will need to go under Create an Account and fill out the form in there to create your Gmail account so that you can access Google Drive. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. Okay, so here we have the Google Drive interface. We're going to start in the upper right-hand corner. In the upper right-hand corner, you will see this L right here. That stands for me, Landon. Your initial will be there instead of mine. If you click on that, that opens up this pop-up here where you can manage your Google account and sign out. That's what that button's for. To the left of that, we have our 9 buttons here. The 9 circle menu, these are our Google Apps, YouTube, Calendar, Gmail, Photos. Next to that, we have our Settings button here. We'll talk about that in a later episode. And Support is right there, the question mark with a circle around it. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is this area right here, the large area here. This is your main Google Drive area. At the top part here, we have all of our folders. We have 4 columns of folders here. Underneath that are individual files that do not currently reside in a folder. If you right-click on any folder or file, you get a pop-up menu like this. They have a whole bunch of options here. We can share, get a shareable link. We can move it. We can move this folder into any other folder. We can add this to our starred files, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. We can rename this folder, change the color, search within, view details, download it onto your PC or Mac, or we can remove it and put it into the trash. All right, the area above the main drive area here, this area right here, this is your main context bar. Here we on the left-hand side of the main context bar, we have the My Drive. This tells you where you are in Drive at any particular time. So right now we're in the uppermost level, the My Drive level. So let's say we wanted to go into a folder. We're going to go ahead and double click on Archive. And so now we see we're in My Drive, and now we're on a new level down. We're now in the Archive folder. So we can go even further down. We can click on another folder. And then we can click on another folder. And so the main context bar here tells us where we are at any given time. And we can click on any one of these, and it will take us back to that level. Click Archive, it takes us back to Archive. And you can get back to the main area by clicking on My Drive. All right, with this My Drive button, if you click on the downward pointing triangle, you can use that button to create a new folder, upload files, upload folder, and create new Google Docs, Google Sheets, or Google Slides. Okay, the main context bar also gives us a few more options. So let's go ahead and click on this document right here. And now we can see in the context bar, we have some more buttons here to choose from. We have Get Shareable Link. We can share this with other people. We can open it in a preview box, or we can put it in the trash. And more actions. If you click on more actions, you'll get a similar pop-up to what you would get if you right-clicked on the file. The last two things in the main context bar here, we have the toggle between list view and grid view. I prefer the grid view, that's how I have it set up now. But if you click on list view, it changes your folders into a list, and then the individual files reside beneath the folders. And if you want to go back to the grid view, you just hit grid view. All right, the button next that is the View Details button. So if we click on this folder here, the administration folder, and then we click on View Details, it opens up this side panel here, and we get some details about this particular folder. When it was last modified, when it was created, and you can add a description here if you want of what's inside the folder. And we can also see any activity that's gone on with this folder. Items that have been moved in, taken out, edited, things like that. To get rid of this side panel here, you just hit the X and it goes away. Okay, so let's go over here to the left-hand navigation bar. That's this area over here. The top item here, this is My Drive. If you click on this rightward pointing triangle, you will get a list of all the folders that you have currently in your Google Drive. It's the same list that's over here on the right in the main Google Drive area. Inside of each triangle here, if you click on that, it opens up all of the subfolders they have for that particular folder, and then all the subfolders for that one. It's just another way to find items that you have in your Google Drive. We can click on that triangle at the top, and that'll shut the whole thing. Underneath My Drive is Shared With Me. These are a list of files that have been shared with me by other people. I did not create these files. Other people created them and then shared them with me through Google Drive. Underneath Share With Me are recent. These are the most recent documents that you have either opened, edited, uploaded into Google Drive, all of your most recent documents here. So if you're working on something over and over again, chances are this will be one of the easiest ways to find it. Okay, underneath recent are starred items. Starred items are pretty unique. They can be any file. It doesn't have to have any rhyme or reason to it. The files that I have starred here are files that I open up all the time. But you can star any file that you want. Say you're working on a particular project and you have a whole bunch of files that are relevant to that project. You can star them all, and then they'll be here in the starred folder. And then when you're done, you can take the star off, and they'll just all reside in their normal folder. They won't be called out. Items that you have a particular significance at a particular point in time, and it can change. And it's just important that you keep track of that, and so you don't have like a mishmash of items that are starred that are not related to each other. It's going to be a highly personal way of organizing your files. All right, and underneath starred we have trash. So everything you remove from Google Drive goes here into your trash folder, and we have all of the folders that I've deleted here, and all the individual files that I've deleted here as well. So when you click on an item here, in your main context bar, you get a couple options. You can either restore from trash, and that'll put it back where it was in your Google Drive, or you can delete forever. If you want to take the drastic action of emptying all of your trash at one time, in the downward facing triangle next to the word trash in your main context bar, you can empty the trash. I will tell you that as long as something is in the trash, it still counts against your storage limits. Speaking of storage, underneath trash, we have our storage button here. And underneath that, we can see that we're using 8 gigabytes of the 17 that are provided for us for free. So if you click on storage, what that does is that it gives you a list of all of the files that are in your Google Drive ordered by how much storage they use. In this case, I have one video here at the top that's using up 732 megabytes. So if you see you're getting close to running out of storage, and you're just wondering what takes up all this space, you click on storage, and then that will tell you what is taking up all the space in your Google Drive. All right, and the last thing we're going to talk about is the New button. So let's go back to our main Google Drive page. You can do that at any time by clicking on the upper left-hand corner here where it says Drive. So let's look at the New button. If you want to add anything to your Google Drive, this is where you can go to do that. So we click New, and we can either add a new folder, we can upload a file from our PC, we can upload an entire folder from our PC, or we can create a new Docs, Sheets, or Slides document as well. And so that's what the New button does. You'll remember that this menu here is the exact same menu you get when you click on the triangle next to My Drive. It's just another example of how Google has given us multiple ways to do the same thing. A lot of redundancy, which is nice. All right, so that is a tour of the Google Drive interface. In the next episode, we'll be talking about working with files and folders. Thank you for watching this video tutorial, and we'll see you next time.